We are so back. Game 5 just minutes away, and the shirt does not lie. At least we are getting a full 5 games here, GB.
It sounds like sweat and victory, baby Raz. I can't wait to see you in this. One more, just one more, and we're there.
The fact that you pulled it out when they haven't won a game yet was insane.
It was on a tank of copium, but it has become a tank of realism right now.
Look, we got the blood, sweat, and tears. Both of our two teams are absolutely fighting for it. The sole remaining representative from the PCS in Talon, and then also Europe's play-ins hope. The disappointments have come so many times. BDS looked to be that, and now they have fought back to a 5th game here.
It's wild. I mean, one fact is that no team in LEC history has gone a reverse sweep in Worlds. That's insane to me. And we're going to see BDS, which, just thinking about where this series started, there's a lot of people that are waking up in the world that are able to catch this series right from the bump, right? It started with not BDS basically falling. It was just
we had
PSG
2 kills at 25
them.
minutes.
Yes, it was a snooze to begin with, and it was just BDS getting smashed by PSG, and it's all turned around.
What a turnaround, especially with Sheo and his early game. GB, I want you to walk us through exactly how he took over.
I think a lot of people are going to look at the team fight and think to themselves like, oh, Adam obviously showed up, but I also just think the early game was absolutely perfect for them. In this replay right here, you can see Archer has a stacked wave, which means that it will slow push into Adam. That can be a bit bad, because there is a Maokai on the top side, so Adam needs to make sure he does not die. Once again, luckily, it's a slow push. While that is happening, Sheo is utilizing the fact that he's been counter-jungling pretty much this entire game. Yeah. And it is a PSG bot lane that's sleeping here. They should know Sheo's down here. They spotted him in early on a Raptor ward. Now, what Sheo needs to do ASAP is go top and cover, make sure that Adam can keep this freeze alive, because what he's going to do now, he's going to take a trade with Azhi. Adam obviously never runs teleport on the Garen, which means that in laning phase, wave management can be kind of difficult. But with having this freeze straight outside his turret, Azhi is forced to TP. What happens? Labrov, Sheo, they're already here. They got a kill on the bot side, immediately reset up towards the top side. Azhi doesn't have any teleport whatsoever. Adam haven't been back yet, but by flashing over the wall and securing the first kill for himself, he can now move over to his wave, crash it, start a slow push against him again while he's resetting. Once again, he has no teleport. But Archer just missed an entire wave. Adam gets to come back, have the ignite ready when he hits level 6 as well, and the entirety of top lane is just over when that happens right there. And it came off the backbone of Sheo and Labrov with great map movement.
I love the move from Labrov, because his job down bot lane was fine, and it was just in case, and I love the fact that we're already getting the crowds in this, just in case if Maokai is there or if anyone that was answering the Jax's calls because he recognized he wasn't going to get the wave in, then they can take the fight. So they were ready just in case for insurance.
I love it. The map movement, absolutely on point. I also think that BDS stepped into their own in terms of the draft, right?
Yes.
They get the Kai'Sa again in the bot side, while PSG continued to ban away all of these AD carries on the bot side.
Listen, I'm a big fan of the PSG coaching staff strategy of banning these bad AD carries that Crownie might have played, really forcing him onto Kai'Sa instead. Remarkable for me, really. And I love the fact that we're not now just seeing the Kai'Sa come through. It's a laning phase where it matters. We can get kills. There's a mid game and a late game where it becomes scary. I love having Crownie on this Kai'Sa, and it does make me wonder, why did it have for us to get pushed this far into one game where we're almost getting knocked out till we finally start busting out these champions?
At least we're here now.
I mean, we are, but you know, it's a process.
And it made it entertaining. I'll take it, right?
Absolutely.
And I mean, to another point, thank you to the PSG coaching staff to pick Jax in this situation. When you know you're going against Adam, you should know his champion pool.
Oh, I thought you were rooting for them. Now you're us with BDS?
Okay, I started with BDS, and then I saw the first 2 games, okay?
That's crazy,
I saw the
bro.
first 2 games.
Okay, let's talk about the top lane then, because this match has been so important. I think we saw Azhi with multiple fantastic performances in Game 1, Game 2, even in this game, had a great team fight, but it's really been going BDS's way so far when Adam gets on these counters.
I think it comes into the fact when it's the mid game and they actually up the tempo. This is something that we saw BDS struggled with, but here you have every tool that you need. You have an early game lead, you can fully send it. Hell, I found multiple times in this game where I thought Labrov was absolutely sprinting it and about to throw away the lead until they just turn it into a fight where they started winning it.
Yeah, and I think for me, the biggest boost throughout the series is that they're just holding counter pick for top lane. And that the Ivern pick was a great one this game. The Maokai pick prior was also a great one. Maokai and Alistar. So they're waiting and holding picks because they know they have a wealth of options.
Look at the Dusk Blade.
It's nice. That was sick. And that was that one option that PSG had to take back the game. but the Ivern Daisy was just wailing and slowing Jax down, unable to take a fight. So the Jax pick was the most puzzling. Because if you want to play against this team fight comp, he's like, okay, let's play side lanes. But I already mentioned they should know, they should be aware Garen is going to be able to beat him on side lane. So you can't pick him on side lane. You can't take him on team fights. It was just a checkmate in draft. And of course, the point that you had mentioned in the early laning phase made it so BDS can take this one straight from the get-go.
The top lane matchup is going to be so critical in this final match. And I have huge news that PSG have selected blue side, which continues to give top lane counter pick options over to Adam. I think they picked blue in game 4, so that is in line with their prep, but that is shocking with the absolute devastation he did in the top. I mean, Azhi's looking like Johnny Silverhand, the way Adam Smasher is beating him into the pavement.
I mean, absolutely. And, you know, I really think there is a viable option where PSG takes a page out of the Mad Lions notebook, which was literally ban all of Adam's champions. If that does happen, though, that frees Nuke up a lot. That means you go on an Azir. That means you can go on an Orianna instead. I am curious to see, though, what is going to happen with that Kai'Sa. Will it be moved into a first pick priority?
It might.
Or what's going to happen with it?
It definitely might. You know, a few games back, the Caitlyn pick was just not really great for how we got to see Wako play. Wako was a star in one of the games and he wasn't able to play it out. The Caitlyn pick wasn't showing any benefit in team fights. Taking a look at a top lane matchups, yes, Azhi, who has been the second best top laner so far in play-ins, has been getting smashed because of the matchups. I mean, we need to see a change up.
You still look at the damage per minute, though. He's getting less resources from his team, but still doing a lot with it, too.
Yeah.
So I think the difference that came from BDS here is that they decided to say, Adam's a win condition, we're going to play around him more.
So PSG Talon, they have to deal with that, right? Are we leaving open ADs so that we can trade the Xayah Kai'Sa so we can get Prio on top lane? Do we try to return to like the Kennen blind pick so Sion comes in as a response? What do they do here?
I don't know. I'm too high on copium. I don't know what's happening. I just want to see the game start again.
Ride it all the way. It is time for the final battle here in the World's 2023 play-in stage. Team BDS versus PSG Talon, Game 5. Let's get to it.
All of the day has led to this. Everything else doesn't matter. All analysis out the window. Goldberg and Raz, you're out of jobs. It's about Game 5. And I think the EU fans are very excited and are very invested. We did have a moment where Medic feeling very very intent on this particular matchup.
I imagine this is the vast majority of the fans watching right now from EU. The LEC fans on the edge of their seats, quite literally, hoping that they can pull off this reverse sweep here. So much on the line for PSG. If they lose this, it would mean no PCS teams in the main stage at Swiss. And on the flip side, for the LEC, it'll be the first time that all 4 of their seeds have made it through. And seeing them all play in the main stage would be absolutely amazing.
Have to wait and see. We'll no longer hypothesize. No more theories about where they want to go. PSG sticking to the first 2 bans as always. Back on the blue side. And again, we're seeing those AP top laners taken away by BDS. So what do you want to see change? We obviously talked to the analyst desk. They wanted to see maybe ADs left open. But I mean, I think like the Kai'Sa is just the key pick.
Yeah, I would love to see first pick Kai'Sa if we're going to have no other pinches really going on. I think it's been a big turnaround. Wako's Aphelios is fine, but it's not going to be able to dive in and assassinate people. And to be fair, at the same time, PSG did not just lose because Aphelios or excuse me, anything like that. It was a whole team improvement out of BDS. They're playing way better, way more confident, and you're not going to win just because you first pick it.
Okay, so BDS recognize the PSG. We're almost certainly going to first pick the Kai'Sa, and they say, cool, take the Maokai. We're cool with that. We still have the Sejuani, we still have the Ivern, and now no one gets to have the Kai'Sa in game number 5.
Love this read out of BDS saying, yep, it's a bit problematic. We're going to just ice it here. No one gets to play with this, and it forces everyone down their priority list. I do like the potential adaptation here, saying, you know, we can't really stop Sheo from playing any of these tanky junglers, so we're just going to opt into our strengths instead. Rell, actually, the takeaway this time around. Woody had 1 good game on it, 1 sketchy one. We'll see how he's feeling today.
We will wait to see where Adam takes these particular picks. Remember, if he picks...
He's not spelling it right.
I was going to say, he's actually not spelling it at all.
GSO.
No, it was DGSO. Gadizzo. But, of course, we'll wait to see what he wants to go for. He's on red side. I would be so unbelievably upset if they do not give red side counter to Adam in that top side. But you can see Crownie just trying to really emote how much this means to these guys. They need to get this draft right.
Yeah, you talk about the stakes for this team. Adam, the only one who has played on the main stage of Worlds before. And to be fair, during that time period, there was a lot of stuff going on with that Fnatic team that they were not able to put their best foot forward in. It was hardly the showing that I think anyone wanted then. And so this time around, to make it back with this squad kind of leading as the face of the organization right now would do a lot for them.
And that's it as well. That's that not only are you looking for the face of this organization, but LEC, you know, you want to break that 4th seed curse, but also as well as that, like even for LCS and to a smaller extent, like you kind of, it feels slightly better to get the team that goes to the play-ins, the one that smashed you. Come on, a little bit.
I'm a misery loves company kind of guy, you know, like BDS.
You're not getting in. We're not
neither are you. Yeah, no, definitely not. But they're making it difficult. BDS has been putting in the work these last 2 games, making it difficult for themselves as well, losing early on, having to go through the losers bracket, and now having to pull off a reverse sweep.
Well, PSG, they are putting in high priority onto this Gnar now, and Azhi had a fantastic game number 3. He just, as we said in that last one, kind of lost himself. Didn't really know where to go, didn't know really where he had to kind of put it, so putting a little bit more priority on his champion pool to make sure that it does not get banned away. And now BDS, you've got an opportunity. Do you want to just take the top laner here? Do you want to try and maybe get your AD carry? There's a couple of questions that you need to answer. He's going to go Crownie onto the Zeri. He went from 12-5 earlier today to 12-6 with the loss, but still a champion he can have some serious impact on.
Yeah, definitely the case. It's a very different series in terms of momentum. It's a different series in terms of the draft. The fact that you had Wako's Kai'Sa banned this time, so you're not playing the Zeri into the Kai'Sa, you're playing into Aphelios. Range advantage and probably some laning strengths going to the Rell and Aphelios early on here. And Azhi's Gnar was incredible for 60-70% of that game before the wheels kind of came off, and hopefully he can get back onto that kind of performance here. For the flip side, yet again, it is the solo lanes saved for Nuke and Adam.
And that's the big thing I'm actually curious about as well, because we've actually seen the Nico change in priority in this draft alone. It was a first-round rotation ban, now moved obviously into the second one, but PSG didn't pick it up until obviously now, which they can't do anyway. So these little things, we're seeing a lot of emphasis being put in here, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see BDS maybe pick up a Jace. It's not really Nuke's champion style, but it's definitely something he has played this year.
I wonder what they're going to do if they ban the Cassio and the Jace is left up then, because that's what they're probably going to do. Yep, Cassio comes through here, and now the question is, do you take the Jace away or not, pair it with the Maokai? It's not really the composition that we tend to see, but it does play, I think, somewhat to their strengths in terms of more kite-back focus and picking the moment to go in. If they want to go for that denial, they can. If they leave it up, it will be relatively physical damage heavy, and instead, just going to slam Darius into the Gnar.
There it is. Gods. Garen, Olaf, Darius, Sion. But we still get gods for Adam. He has played every single one so far in this series. And knowing he's going to Gnar, I actually really love this matchup. You have such incredibly high kill pressure because, yes, the Gnar is exceptionally powerful, but in mini, if he gets caught, he is so vulnerable to getting burst out.
Yeah, it's one of those champions where if you are able to land a hook back, you also go Ghost Flash, I assume, here, so you can try and chase the Gnar down a little bit better. And if you can ever get on top of him, like you said, you get to blow him up. The Jarvan, no surprise, seeing that locked into combo with the, what are these called? The Narvan?
The Narvan combination.
It's been a minute, but there it is. It's back, and they bring another wall this time around. The Taliyah has been very hit or miss from the mid lane this tournament so far, I would say, honestly. There's not been the most impressive Taliyah games, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Maple to actually get it to the top side of the map, try and punish the Darius.
Okay, so Nuke saying, look, I can burst this out. I can get the pressure. Double AD carry now on the side of BDS. They will melt towers if they're left alone for too long. However, I mean, jumping in onto this PSG side is going to be hazardous at the best of times.
Well, I think you're not jumping in almost ever, honestly, if you're Nuke outside of individual lane phases or 1v1s. For the most part, though, you are playing 2 beef balls in front of you, kite back, double marksman composition. Again, depending on how PSG itemizes, they will not be the tankiest of members, and so you can potentially stuff any difficult engage with Maokai and Alistar and then melt whoever was the one who went flying in there. And meanwhile, Adam's doing Adam things on the backside of the fight, or maybe not even there, potentially, depending on what he's up to. So, once again, one of these comps that I love out of BDS, a splash of creativity with some pretty solid fundamentals. And for PSG, it feels like another early game focused game plan here if they're going to win this one.
Hometown heroes of BDS, but PSG Talon, they have a couple of old faithfuls there in the crowd of Law Park in Seoul, Korea. It comes down to this one last game. This is your final draft. You live it or you lump it, because right now Nothing else matters. Both these teams have left everything under the rift. Now it comes down to this. One Nexus explodes, one team goes to Swiss.
One spot available, the last team to promote into the main stage of Worlds and to keep their dreams alive for at least another week or so. And for these two regions, a lot on the line, like you already said, for the first time, if the 4C can make it in after what has been a bit of a curse for them, and for the PCS to get any representative in, as BDS has already taken out the number 2 seed in CFO and now coming for the number 1 seed if they can pull this off. You got a BDS fighting chant in there?
We do, man. I was there, like LPL swum back into me. It was like the Gyos and everything.
Yeah,
it was
I'm like,
awesome.
oh, they're rallying, man. They
Give
got
them a
some
bit
fans.
of yeah, absolutely. But let's see how it works. PSG versus BDS, 2-2 on the day. One team each getting a stomp. I think it's fair to say. Game 2 for PSG, Game 4 for BDS. Two semi-close games in 1 and 3. Now,
so if it's going reverse,
yeah,
right. So game 3 is the midpoint, right? That's the really crazy one.
That's the crazy.
One game stepped away from that was one team smashing the other, which means game 1 from the flip side would be a very, very slow and boring BDS win. I don't want that. I'm fine with the BDS win part.
The
for what it's
math
worth.
checks out, and that's why I'm mad.
The BDS win part, totally fine with.
Yeah.
If we get 2 kills through 20 minutes again, I'm a sad boy.
Yeah, I mean, you've got scaling. I definitely think when you have a Jarvan on the team of PSG, you are looking to be a lot more aggressive, and especially as well on the other side of this, the Adam Darius is something that I will expect to be a little bit more proactive in the first few minutes of the game.
And this time around, no tricky business out of BDS. We talk about their level 1s quite a bit, or Sheo doing some stuff on his first clear. Looking like a pretty standard bot to top clear for both, or excuse me, top to bot clear for both these junglers, trying to end up around their 80 carries. You can see, like we said, early on, the green gun advantage, giving them some strength in this lane, trying to delay taking these creeps as long as they can, so it doesn't push, and give Crownie some easier CS. Nice brush control as well from Woody.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the Zeri finding it so difficult to just walk forward there, just because Woody and Wako are controlling this so well. Level 2 will be hit now in just a second or 2. And that's going to basically mean that this entire wave is going to be going underneath the tower pretty frequently for the side of BDS. They're going to have to try and figure out how they're going to be able to stem the bleeding already in the early stages of this game, but
I want to see how crazy PSG wants to get. You can always have one of these slow-built waves. If Maple can get unlocked, roam down there for a 4-man level 3 dive, who knows? Probably not going to be the case, though.
Level 2, both away, but Labrov already burning through quite a few of its pots, so he needs to be a bit careful with how aggressive he wants to be going into this one here. And this is the thing as well, is that you don't want to lose too much of this underneath the turret, especially when you're against Wako, who's already picked up that coal, so he's stacking that one up very nicely very early.
Good call, already understanding. I'm going to control this lane. I'm here to farm up and get to my items quickly. Already half a turret plate gone off that push, and Sheo actually skipping the camps.
He's just going to jump in on top of that one there. They're trying to use a minion delivery system as Woody should be able to remount. Sheo actually went in onto a minion to move away from that because I just didn't feel confident with the Jarvan coming in on the backside.
Interesting re-engage by Woody there. Jarvan was further away than you would have thought, but with that control, actually, the fact that Sheo skipped camp means that JunJia finished his red buff and appears healthy enough now to contest this with the shove that they already have. Sheo's going to have a hard time controlling this, but fortunately, Nuke has the push on the mid wave.
Oh, they're looking for Woody. Puts him in behind the wall, though. And they have to get the flash out. You can see JunJia getting himself away from this one here. Sheo, though, with the gravitum available for Wako, gets 2 down. The Ignite goes in. Has no real mana left. His auto attacks are good, and Crownie knows if he gets any CC on top of him, he was dead, so he has to flash back over the wall.
Maple with a more defensive path, thinking that he needed to cover the escape instead of charging into the river, stops that chase down sequence there. A little bit slower to collapse on that play. If he was able to help cut them off as they ran into that blue buff pit, could have gone a lot worse for BDS. Still a gold advantage because Crownie had to sack some minions to start going aggressive there. And overall for PSG, a decent start to the game despite feeling like maybe a kill or 2 left on the table.
While that's all happening, the top laners trying to figure out whether or not they can go aggressive. The wave in a pretty terrible state there for Azhi. These hemorrhage stacks are starting to build up quite quickly, and this is the power of the Darius. 1 or 2 small movements, and all of a sudden he's looking fantastic, but now he's walking straight in on top of the Jarvan. Pops the Ghost, does not get away from the first CC, but does get away from the second. Now looking for a little bit of a trade back. 1v2. Adam looking to be his namesake for the moment. The Ghost still popping down. He's doing very well. Flash forward into the apprehend. Does not get the bounce back for Azhi. He moves away from the Jarvan. I think that was key.
I think you can feel the nerves on both these teams here. Azhi missing his Q and then his W in that sequence is absolutely a kill onto Adam if they land it. And then afterwards, not quite sure where they want to go from BDS. Azhi's hop out does mean at the end of this, it's a summoner advantage. He did not have to burn anything in that sequence. And so while it should have been a kill yet again, instead it's just small advantages in the early game for PSG.
Nerves, the pressure, if you will.
Your whole year on the line.
Your literal entire season rests on this one game of 5v5. It is sometimes a little too much to bear.
Sometimes we all go through promotion matches and you feel the stress of needing to win that 5th game. Imagine that if your whole career in life was built on that. A little bit, just try and put it in perspective.
It's so difficult to know. And again, it comes down to how these teams are able to deal with that pressure. If you can get that play to work on either side, you get an advantage. You start putting even more pressure onto your opponent. Versus now, where it does feel like, again, no one's coming out with an advantage, but it's very, very shaky for now.
Yeah, I think you expect from the draft for PSG to be winning the early game, and so these gold leads are largely what you would think would happen. I think the biggest thing is the fact that none of these kills have really accelerated any of the lanes beyond what you would expect. And so PSG going to start this Dragon out, playing off their bot lane prio, and Taliyah now at 6, though with no mana, will probably teleport back into the lane, have the ability to join in on any fights that happen around the map.
Sheo's going to walk over and check if this is being done. Doesn't have a smite, by the way. Used it on the Gromp, so maybe they want to go for a little bit of engage. A TP comes in back from both mid laners. Maple and Nuke now moving back down towards this dragon. It's the first dragon of the game, and we know how much BDS love their dragons. There is the Weaver's Wall coming straight out. They're going to try and jump in, but a knockback from onto Woody means that he goes down, but it's a first blood. Dragon stolen by BDS as we got the resets coming in maybe for Nuke, as Wako has to flash away straight away as he realizes he can't take this fight. Neither can JunJia as he looks to try and trade it back, but Nuke gets himself a double, and BDS trade 2 for 1, and they get the dragon.
Huge contest out of BDS there on the Dragon. A little bit of face check by Crownie.
Yeah, he's going to be able to dash himself over. Good cleanse. Definitely would have preferred not to use it, but small little window there for PSG. They almost capitalized.
Yeah, but that is such a bad consolation prize there after Sheo again on top of the smites was getting taken advantage of by JunJia. A little bit in game 1 and game 2, but after that has been dominant with these, never really losing any critical objectives. And then the fight afterwards, I mean, Nuke in a great position on the Tristana here. Able to just hit closest target and make sure to knock Woody back so he does not ever get stunned up. That explosive shot also landed a ton of damage onto Wako as he finished off Woody there. And now it's just an easy chase down the rest of the way for the team.
It just feels like after the Weaver's Wall, the Maple Taliyah was not really in a position to put out damage, wasn't throwing out rocks at a rate to kind of settle herself and get that damage out, so it really just was an unfavorable position here for PSG. They do, however, get themselves back in towards that mid lane to try and put pressure here onto Nuke, who did pick up a plate or so for himself, but I mean, we could see another fight now as the Rift Herald has already spawned, and they know this is happening on the side of BDS.
Looks like Crownie is skirting down onto the bot lane there, riding the wall as far as he can go, and giving this one away. Not in a position to contest this after the slightly slower reset. Death timer, sometimes a quicker path back onto the map than a recall after that dragon fight. So PSG do use their top pressure a little bit with the Gnar as well to grab that one.
See what PSG can do with it, because this is the thing I always say about Rift Heralds. It's not that you get it, it's how you use it afterwards, especially an early one, because it can lead to a huge advantage in one of these lanes. And right now, Sheo, with level 6, would be very, very good at deterring any kind of dive here onto Adam, who does not have his flash just yet, does have Ghost. Maybe Sheo and Adam might want to go for something a little crazy, but Azhi just backs away.
I think they're just waiting to cover this wave collection by Adam. Good decision, given that the Rift Trail just went down. I think PSG were also thinking the same thing. If anything is looking suspect here, maybe we can make the play, but that's not the case. And like you said, it's about how you use the Rift Herald. I feel like this series, we've seen a lot of Rift Heralds not get optimal value, kind of dropped as they time out, or they charge a turret that there's no one else there to help push afterwards. And so it has been a very scrappy series, honestly, outside that first game where there's been a lot of fighting, and it's sometimes hard to find the correct usage of this. So it'd be nice, I assume, if you want to get this either onto Wako to accelerate your primary carry, or onto Azhi to get the side lane going in your favor.
And for the moment, JunJia is down in the bot lane. Just or bot side of the map, I should say, as he waits to try and just maybe find a Cataclysm target. Very hard to lock down things like a Tristana, Zeri. They can just dash their ways out with the mobility they have in their kit, so they're not really in any kind of danger for the moment, but PSG look like they want to try and maybe put down the bit of pressure here in mid lane. I do like this as well, especially with the first Herald. If you know you're not going to get a full tower, at least get that mid lane tower low so you can actually try and take it on the second Herald.
Yeah, especially with a Taliyah, it's always nice to break out your global if you can make it happen. And definitely the case, actually, when you talk about the champions that JunJia is going to be jumping on top of, most of them are pretty unperturbed by it. Of course, if you are jumping onto Darius, you know, he can't get out, but then you're trapped in a pit with Darius, and I'm not sure that's where you want to be using your J4 ult.
Yeah, not ideal target selection, but Maple maybe just going to throw a walk over the wall. And it's going to stop Labrov from getting a reset in. So, 11 minutes are just shy of it. It's 500 gold lead for BDS. Yeah, we're going to be able to set up for this dragon in a minute's time. It is a dragon, or it's an infernal dragon, which means we are not going to have an infernal soul or a mountain soul, so not going to be the highest of priorities, I imagine, unless it's Hex.
I bet I'm smelling another Chemtech.
Smelling a Chemtech?
Yeah, smells bad. Smells smoggy.
Not clear cloud air, no?
No. From Los Angeles, man.
Yeah,
I'm used to that smell.
You came to Dublin and you were just like, what is this? Fresh air? Get out of here.
Grass? Disgusting.
Yeah.
Where's my concrete jungle?
Yeah, where's the 20, 30 buildings that block out the sun? But coming back into it. I mean, we'll see what they want to go for right now, because it does look like for the moment PSG are on a bit of a reset. They can look to try and just clear out a lot of this vision. With the amount of ultimates they have, they would have a fair amount of, full dive to go on to someone like Tristana and Zeri if they can catch them out.
Yeah, I feel like PSG is slightly under the gun to make plays, which means, unfortunately, that for viewership and the aggressive gameplay perspective, I think BDS is happy with this Maokai and double marksman to set up around objectives, poke them down, try and just burn through them. And if PSG are going to contest, you can really make a decision if you actually want to fight for it or not. You are absolutely happy, I think, to just kind of keep scaling until you get more major items onto your marksman, because right now there is no mythics completed across the board yet.
Well, there's that Rift Herald. Shelly going into that mid lane to, like we said, just kind of put pressure down. We'll get 2 plates. That will go straight over to JunJia, so not the worst thing in the world. The Jarvan, I have seen Jarvan's one-shot AD carries with their full combination, so definitely something that can be done, and Dragon gets started. There is a TP here for Azhi, but there's none available for Adam. You have to remember that Labrov hasn't popped his ultimate just yet. There it goes. So now he's not going to have that available to him. It looks like BDS are going to have to be on full retreat. PSG did enough to pressure them away from this objective.
Yeah, Maple's chunk there is enough to buy them this Infernal Dragon. Sheo's sticking around. He's feeling himself with these smites.
Yeah, he's feeling it, but I don't know if he wants to. You do not have your support, and they will back that one away. So Adam will pick up a plate in the top side and the back side of it. So, Dragon apiece, 20k each. It's looking pretty close that we're going to be getting to some big 5v5s in about 5 or 6 minutes time.
Yeah, I think so. It totally makes sense for them to back off there, wait for their first major item completions, especially after Labrov is chunked out. For PSG, you're happy to have gotten that objective down, but of course you're looking more for kills at this point. And even that Rift Herald mid, it's nice to chunk out that mid turret, but realistically against a Tristana, how many times will you have shove from the Taliyah to actually walk up there and auto that turret? I much would have preferred if they could get that onto a more important carry from the perspective of team fighting or split pushing later on in the game here. So for BDS, yeah, it charged it down to 3 plates, but as long as Nuke is playing well, that thing will be relatively safe, and that's all they're going to get.
Also, I will say I was right. It's Cloud Soul. Dublin fresh air.
Ooh.
That's where we are. No chem smog of LA, you know.
They heard the complaint about being in Korea, playing at Lowell Park, and not getting enough Cloud Dragons, so they supported you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that from the script writers. That's very nice of them to do for me. But, I mean, we'll have to wait to see again, because PSG, they're taking this one slowly, but they're not coming out, you're not coming out on the worst end of these trades. It does feel like the fact that they were able to get that coal stacked up so quickly, that Wako has been able to have a little bit more freedom to build up to a first item, maybe even a second one, obviously very soon. But this is where the game starts to devolve into less about the laning phase and more about getting around these objectives.
Yes, how are you going to set up for them? Are you going to get chunked out before they go on? Will you find flanks in order to access the enemy backline? Like we were saying, for the side of BDS, mostly front to back, except for Adam, who might be flanking and might not be there with his no teleport summoner. And with the Maokai saplings, you can often try and find Azhi and JunJia, who are trying to do that Narvin combo to stun your carries up against the wall. Hopefully a flick follows by Maple, and Wako is kind of that insurance policy to melt through the pretty beefy team comp with BDS.
And we saw there how even it was between the carries for the MasterCard lane economy snapshot. It really felt like that's exactly how the game has felt, honestly. It's just, you know, kind of slightly topside favored for BDS, slightly bot side favored for PSG, and then in the middle, everyone's just kind of dotted around with a couple of hundred here or there. Now, Rift Herald number 2 has been started. You have a Stormrazor finished up here for Crownie. He's back out onto the map. 6,000 HP already taken down on top of this one, and Adam and Nuke are finally arriving.
Yep, gonna look like our first pure 5v5. Maple in the wing.
No 5v5 for you. Taliyah says no fighting. We will get ourselves back into the laning phase. Because the funny thing is, 15 and a half minutes gone. No tower's gone down yet.
No, and they're all relatively healthy. There's, I think, that most half down on the mid lane of BDS. Adam has gotten some chip down on top side. Everyone's gotten a little bit of chip, but not too much damage done to them. I saw Taliyah in the flank. I was hoping for a wall in.
Once that Ghost play, just get the Stride Breaker, gets a little bit of damage out, trying to get those stacks up, brings down the ult, and Adam was done with passiveness in this laning phase.
He heard you talking about there just going back to laning, and that was not what he wanted to do. Finds the angle right as Azhi's Mega Gnar wears out, and you know the Mini Gnar in tired form will never be able to get away from you. Ghosted up with the slow and hook back. Nice kill there by Adam, and exerting his presence on the game yet again. He came in as the most talked about player of BDS for his hyper carry, or not hyper carry, but his very aggressive carry playstyle.
Oh, Sheo just turned and burned onto that one. He was like, all right, we can take this fight. There's a Cataclysm. The knockback is good for JunJia. So I actually think he was in a bad situation there. As you can see, PSG realizing they were just going to lose a tower for free because they had no one to rotate.
Yeah, I think PSG getting a little antsy there. Jumping in, no real follow-up available. Maple was not quite in range for anything. Also going for the crown, interestingly enough. A little surprised to see that, given that there's not any significant burst damage that is going to come from the enemy team and can get knocked off quite easily from saplings if you're not careful.
That's what I was going to say. Like, surely the saplings or even a Zeri laser, a Stride Breaker, like there's so many little things, or even an Alistar knock-up, you know, can just knock it away. So we'll see how valuable or not it is later on into the game. But for the moment, PSG just waiting to see how they go for it. And this is Adam just being the Darius, being the god of the god king of Noxus.
Yeah, coming through the mid river, excuse me, there, finding that. I was stunned at how good that
I was
animation was.
Say,
like,
that
oh,
animation just so beautiful. Have you never seen this?
No, I don't pay attention to
They
this.
both turn into wolves, Garen and Darius in the God's King skins.
Poggers.
Yeah.
What? It is.
I've never met someone who speaks in Twitch chat IRL.
Really?
It's just because I'm Irish. Why would we speak in Twitch chat? We could just, yeah. It's just strange for me, that's all. Anyway, we can come back in. We can see that with the priority on bot side, BDS would not only get themselves the bot turret, but they'll also get themselves a second dragon. Doesn't mean though that surely will knock over this turret in the mid lane. So PSG finally back on the front foot in terms of the objective trades and looking to try and make sure they're not just losing out around the map.
No, dead even in gold. Red team, Adam finished off his second turret, will put them back slightly ahead. Also grabbing the second dragon for BDS.
Adam's still
there.
going. Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, teleport coming in from, looks like the Gnar, so at the very least getting that one out. Ooh, collapse all the way committed here. Maple not wanting to go,
I was going to say, though, they're not trying to get into top of Adam because they have to deal with the rest of BDS who are there to protect their top laner. No one goes down just yet, but I can see the pressure, the presence that both these teams want to have is starting to lead to a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, definitely the case, and you got to say this is one of those Taliyah games where you're not seeing the impact out of this champion quite yet. Maple has not been able to get to a side lane to try and attack anyone. He's used the wall strategically well sometimes to secure a free Rift Herald and these sorts of things, which they were able to use mid, but that's usually not quite enough. You need to find ways to bisect fights or create odd number of fights, and not quite happening yet, because if it's straight front to back damage, you got to think that Nuke will have him beat. Right now, Kraken Slayer completed, working on, looks like, the quick blades.
And avoid quick blades out means you don't actually at all have to build any attack speed, really, because you just keep spamming Q. You'll get it back as soon as it's down, so do I want to go for right now? And again, it's not as if we haven't had action so far this game. We really have, but it's just been so low scoring in terms of those kills because people are so afraid to kind of overcommit, to overexert themselves. And even Azhi in the top lane, yes, he got caught out and he died, but he could have maybe gone for a flash and a jump, and all. He just said, no, I'm dead. That's the end of it. And just kind of accepted his fate, knowing that the flash is more valuable later on. Now, PSG, they find themselves in enemy territory. Flash forward, though. Triple man knockup as JunJia gets punted right back into the arms of Adam. He does get the flag and drag away. Nice flick back as well from the Taliyah. Maokai ultimate does stop down Woody, and there is one more kill. BDS building back that momentum that they had from game number 4.
You can see PSG hunting in the jungle, looking for a play, but it's Labrov who turns it around when he sees them all grouped up. Adam was in the area. You're not quite sure where he's going to be without that teleport, but he had based and come back out to the top side, able to join in on that fight. They're still poking around here, but this is a 4v5.
This is a 4v5, and Smite comes out. So they get their prize at the end, PSG, but they're now down about 500 gold. And I love what Labrov did right there. He pretended, almost baited him out so much, saying, oh, I'm going to flash over the wall and this is going to lead to nothing. Flashes in and causes a huge amount of disarray here for PSG.
Yeah, you can see Adam just getting back on the map as this play is happening. So fortunately, all 5 members alive. Tristana teleporting in as well, trying to escape at this point, and the stones able to somewhat interrupt the chase down, but the Maokai route following up, locking down one member. Adam able to help clean that one up. Unfortunate that the kill does go over to Sheo at the end of that. Anyone else probably is going to use that better except for Labrov, so a little unfortunate, but hey, if you're Maokai, you're happy to get accelerated, get a little bit tankier earlier on.
Yeah, get yourself up to some kind of standing position to be a bit of a meat shield alongside this Alistar. So right now we can see that the advantage in that top side is starting to grow and grow. Already got a dead man's plate here for Adam. Maple looking to try and catch out Sheo. He's going to be able to try and push him back out here. Flash away by Sheo, so no flash twisted advances available for him for at least another few minutes.
Nice timing on the Q flash while Maple is knocked up. You're flashing away, able to get out. I believe he might have procced his phrase rush as well to skedaddle on out of there. Does, like you say, though, cost his flash. But it was Maple's ultimate as well that went down there. So now, PSG, good wards on the map. You can see they have a nice little box set up on the main jungle ramps around mid lane there to allow themselves to see any potential flanks coming from BDS as we head to this next dragon 1.5 minutes away.
Wako was so close to an Infinity Edge, I feel like he just really wants to get that last little thing. I think he's recalling for it now, so wait to see if he's able to come back out onto the map with that second item. It would be huge here for the side of PSG, and there it is. So 2-item Aphelios. He is starting to build towards that late game. And this isn't like game number 4 where the Aphelios was unable to really build items and have an impact. He's been given the resources, he's been given the time, and now he's starting to show the fruits of that labor.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get involved in these team fights. That is the biggest question, or if he's just going to be saplinged and then Maokai rooted as he tries to follow up on a front line.
Stride breaker.
They're just going to dive in. That's what the Gnar and the Jarvan want to do together, and of course Maple can maybe follow up, Woody can maybe follow up, and as Wako is the main damage dealer, the question is, can he get involved? Can he actually get this damage out? Or is BDS going to be able to peel back?
Lane has become the battleground. We're going into a little bit of an ARAM here for BDS, and this is the problem that they're going to find themselves in now, because Adam has not got teleport. He's very strong in a side lane, and with the Dead Man's Plate and the shrines from the Wind of the Cloud Soul, they should be able to get him between each lanes very quickly.
Yeah, and Adam is a master of this playstyle. He has been playing without teleport way more than people have been playing against someone without teleport. So he knows how to shove a wave, get it on the other enemy side of the map, group up with the rest of the team, allow it to push all the way back, be hiding in brushes that people aren't ready for, and as well, hopefully be able to get out safely when he is committing those pushes.
I would love to see a stat to whether or not Adam has played with teleport more or without teleport more, like in his career, because it's not that big of a career.
Yeah, it's two and a half years.
2.5 years, I think,
like
you know, in terms of like in terms of the highest level, Worlds qualifying region level. Obviously, the LFL is a beast of its own, to be perfectly honest. But flash in, the apprehend, they found Wako, and he is dead. Nothing he could do. You can't cleanse and apprehend.
Nothing to go on there. They said, nice IE, bro, and immediately kill him. Adam finding the moment. We're just singing his praises on the Gods
Going for
champion.
the fight, though. No Maokai ultimate on this one. Actually, a lot of ultimates used in the last fight. Here we go. The Taliyah wall comes out to try and separate people out. They're going to be like fish in a barrel. The Gnar nowhere near getting up towards Mega. Not quite able to get himself the Labrov flick back, but they will be able to get themselves the Baron secured. Now, can Labrov get away from this without dying? No, he cannot. They lose one. Nuke going in a little bit aggressively. They do get him back on top of this one, and he is shut down. 2 kills to 1. The Baron does go over to BDS, but the Dragon will be traded back. It's a lot closer than they would have liked it for BDS.
It initially looked like such a slam dunk play out of BDS, being able to find that initial kill and instantly transfer it over the Baron. They had the right decision, run forward, buy space, that there's no way for them to contest Sheo's smite. But then, instead of just leaving Labrov to die, Nuke just getting a little too crazy there, had his flash up, maybe thinking, hey, if I can get my E reset. I'm not quite sure if he got it or maybe he got interrupted after the Taliyah E, but here you see Adam, just the killer instinct. Labrov on the exact same page, annihilated. I don't even think the ult came down in time before you saw that kill. And then, again, the decision here, great. You force this, you have the split sort of by Maple, but like you called out, Gnar with no rage, there's no real way to actually fight this. Labrov is just there zoning with Adam. They finish this Baron off. Great, leave Labrov to die. All run left, this is totally fine. But Nuke jumping in here, and he was trying to get one more auto attack on JunJia, but JunJia flashed away. So instead of getting the second W right after that, he was able to get re-engaged on top of it and goes down.
The Red Bull Baron power play, it's only about 400 now. And that's not exactly the highest you would want of it. And the thing is that you're losing it onto Nuke. That's the big killer right there for me, because he was the teleport player. He's the one that could go off into a side lane and go for a 1-3-1. Labrov, that's a lot of damage. And they get the Moonlight Vigil landing onto Crownie on the backside of that one there. But again, you can see just how hard it is now for BDS to make this Baron push work, because unfortunately for them, the only one who has any pressure is going to be Adam.
Yeah, I was just initially thinking, okay, well, if you still have Adam, you can maybe set up this 4-1, but Labrov, again, stepping a little bit too far forward. We are in no man's land.
We are in
You look at the
yeah.
history of the goal differences over this series by AWS, you can see there have been quite a few, but usually it's at least sided one way. This time it is BDS slightly favored, able to grab this turret now. Up about 1,500 gold.
Oh, they're looking for Sheo here, because Azhi has got Mega Gnar coming, and that's why he had to flash away. No Dragon to be speaking of right now, so everyone's just kind of playing very antsy, very conservative about where they want to be caught out, because the death timers, they're getting long, Mark.
Yeah, fortunately, even if Sheo did drop there, like you said, not much to grab on the map, but with a flash down, when the Dragon does spawn in 3 more minutes, that will still be down. So if you're able to get in there first, there's no flash smite contest available. And I gotta say, for the most part, BDS has done a very good job of finding windows where Azhi does not have his ultimate available when he's in mini-Gnar form. That first kill onto Adam, that Baron force right there. And so now even here, pushing with these Baron buff minions, Azhi's gonna need to try and stack this on the wave if they want to threaten some kind of engage here. And even then, JunJia's ult not quite up for another 15 or 20 seconds.
Well, Sheo gonna throw out Nature's Grasp, as they do catch out there onto JunJia, who's able to tank it out, and that's gonna be the first of the tier 2s taken away. No real teleport position here. Crownie very isolated away from his team, and Maple might look to try and find him, or maybe he might look to try and find Maple. That's the big question. Come into this one here. It's only a 2,000 gold lead here for BDS as they get a decent amount off of that Baron play.
Definitely the case. Ending up grabbing 2 turrets up to a 2,000 gold lead for BDS. Looking at that crown, I guess you can say one of the things it can do is stop the 80 carries from jumping on you and murdering you, because that is always a potential with a Tristana. If she finds a good angle where you're isolated, she can annihilate you. Same with, honestly, Zeri. There's definitely plenty of certified Zeri moments that start with flashing in, popping your ult, queuing somebody, auto, annihilation.
And then Annihilation.
Yeah, I don't know where it goes from there exactly, how many more autos
you know
you'll
what?
need,
There's not really a lot after Annihilation, I'll be honest with you. Like, it's just kind of, that's just how it is.
Yeah. yeah. So either way, I think BDS is feeling very, very good about themselves right now. A lot of it also being how they're executing this game. PSG, despite being 3-5 in kills and having some moments, for the most part, when the important ones are coming up, it's all BDS who is able to make these plays happen.
And yes, here we are, 4 towers each, 2 dragons each, 2,000 gold ahead of BDS, which is kind of just a little bit of these extra CS numbers they've been able to improve for themselves. And this game is far from over, and with these items starting to be picked up, 3 items onto Crownie now. He's got himself that Runan's Hurricane. You're going to have the Lord Dominic's Regard finished up for Nuke very, very soon as well. This is where the game stops being about those advantages, stops being about those kind of moments, and really just depends on who plays better in those team fights.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Interesting to see Sheo there topping damage done, Red Smite Infernal, or excuse me, Demonic Embrace. Yeah, that combination. Demonic Infernal, same things, whatever.
They're both pretty terrible.
Yeah, demons. But either way, yeah, very impressive to see him topping the numbers, landing those saplings over and over again. And here, giving them, with those saplings, the space to be first ones to the Cloud Dragon, trying to get onto Soul Point. PSG showing up to contest. No one quite able to finish. It looks like there are 3 items you're talking about. Nuke trying to get there. Wako's in the same position. Oh, he's sold.
There it is.
There it is. Now
Shout
just
out
get
to
back on
Raz.
the map.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Shout out to Raz. I feel like I've just called him out unnecessarily there.
People think there's more to it, but it's just that
No,
he
it's
says
just
that.
he just says there it is a lot. It's very fun. But again, I feel like for PSG, you're not unhappy leaving this one alone. You can, if you don't feel confident, if you don't feel comfortable moving into this fight, you don't have to go for it.
Yeah, but Azhi needs to start stacking his passive right now. There's a Raptors behind him. He should be trying to hit those a little bit more to get this so that there's an actual threat.
I mean, he doesn't really need to kind of rush it right now, just because they're not going towards the Dragon. They're actually moving towards the Baron instead. There's the upper hand, but it's on the JunJia. Uses the Starbreaker, but Adam gets caught back a little bit on the backside of this. A lot of damage. It's a lot of rocks to the back of the head. Wako finishes him off, and Adam gets caught. You don't have an ultimate now on Labrov because he had to use his to make sure he stayed healthy, and now PSG, they've changed the momentum.
PSG taking down Adam with 200 years, gives them the early access to the Baron. We'll see if they can get in somehow for BDS.
Here we go, 6,000 HP. Sheo drops down the ultimate. He needs to get into the pit. He goes in! Not quite able to steal it. It goes over to PSG. Azhi goes into immediate stasis and flashes away because he's in mini-Gnar. PSG get the kill, get the Baron, and they get the hell out.
PSG with a bit of robbery there. BDS trying to do the same thing that happened when they got the Baron, which is take the Dragon away from the enemy team. They are going to get there faster after PSG tried to reset, but it is still a 4v5, 10 seconds on Adam. He does not teleport to join in once it does happen. In fact, PSG just says, screw the Baron, or Dragon, excuse me. We're going to go start pushing these waves out topside, and they have mid push as well.
You have to make a decision here. Crownie going towards that top side. Labrov did come back in as well. Looks like they won't be able to get that top tier 2, but the inhibitor turret and mid lane is very, very exposed. There could be a big flank coming in. Sheo will have his ultimate very soon, but not quite just yet. Picks up the blue buff to maybe get a little bit of time and mana back on top of him. I think he knows that that's just a bridge a little too far.
It was a great idea seeing if PSG lost track of him after the Dragon take, thinking that he would reset back to base rather than come in through the jungle. Unfortunately, Wako did not quite step far enough forward to find that angle, but it was a clever idea. And it is becoming a little bit about Wako now. Seeing how much damage he can pump out. We were talking about his Aphelios being absolutely incredible this time around. He's getting his items. He's having a proper front line. And we talked about flubbed engages from PSG getting melted by double AD carry. Same thing is true on the other side.
Yeah.
Wako can delete front line if they have no one to peel back.
It's not even just Wako, because look at Maple as he pops down the Reaver's wall, because he's got a death cap now. Yes, we kind of criticize the Crown of the Shatter Queen because it's very much a defensive item, but he's got damage now available to him alongside that Shadow Flame. So this is becoming harder and harder for BDS. We talked about it, how they were on the precipice of getting themselves a reverse sweep. They still had work to do, though.
If we've learned anything, though, about plans thus far, it's don't count your chickens before they hatch.
JunJia, half his HP there just from a couple of auto attacks and a W from Nuke, and this is where everything starts to come down to decision making. Gold lead basically means nothing. BDS are on Soul Point, and there's another Dragon for at least another 3.5 minutes, so we'll have to wait and see. But again, this is just Adam thinking he had caught someone out, but it's JunJia. He's too tanky.
Yeah, you can see just this flick back sets everything up. The gun goes down to give tons of green procs to Wako. Combined with landing his ultimate gives him the final auto attack from 6 million units away to finish off Adam there and set down this chase. And looking at these fights, it's honestly probably not at all about backline access. I think realistically, even if Azhi is stacked up, he's not that far ahead of the game. Him and JunJia comboing together is probably going to get peeled if you just try to dive onto the backline. It's about more probably buying space for Wako, and you and Maple able to flip someone back, lock them in, and just provide a target for Wako to hit. That's safer to hit than it is for the double marksman of the enemy team to hit you.
Exactly, and I think the big thing I'm looking for BDS is that this kind of Adam walk forward and take someone out, it's just not going to work anymore. You're too far into the game. We're 33.5 minutes. Items are completed. People can just be a lot more brazen and bold to kind of find vision to capitalize on you overextended.
Yeah, the one time they found Wako, his one death this game, was when Adam actually could flash E, pull him in. And of course, that's always an option. You can always 100-0 anyone. Same thing's true on the flip side. If anyone's caught out of position from BDS, of course you can blow them up. But realistically, with how this game is going, it's a lot more about setup and protection.
How you're able to come back into these fights, and oh my days, you can see now the Baron is gone. The BDS are still being coerced backwards. It's a 4-item Zeri. Another fantastic Weaver's Wall just separates anyone out. Actually, I take that back. Actually stops the entirety of PSG from maybe going for a play, which is a little unfortunate, but the idea was there. Now Sheo on a little bit of a flank, maybe looking to try and go for something here. Here we go. Labrov goes in. They're going to try and burst out somebody here. The front line cannot stand tall as Azhi falls down first. BDS, they've lost a little bit, but have they got enough in the tank to get a little bit more? If they get JunJia here, it could be huge. But the smite comes down to slow down Adam and his pursuit.
That's exactly what we're talking about there. Good job by BDS pulling the trigger, stopping that push from coming in. They initially go onto JunJia with the pullback on Adam and then redirect onto Azhi, who had stepped forward to scoop people away, actually, but he was locked down in place.
Oh, Adam, I don't think he knows anyone's coming up here. I don't think he knows that everybody is here. And now he's going to get jumped on, flicked back, CC'd into oblivion.
No Wako.
But he's not got Wako, so he's not getting taken down. The apprehend comes back in.
There
the Cataclysm is down. Finally, the DPS is here, but now Nuke and Crownie, they don't feel confident to walk forward onto this. I genuinely feel they needed to kind of really commit to that, because it just feels like they're losing a slow burning death.
I felt Adam also maybe could have flashed out. They did not have the damage without Wako there to punch through him. You can see how important he is to have him around. But here's this fight yet again. The initial combo onto JunJia, as well as a nice headbutt pulse combo, focuses Azhi down on peeling back for Wako. But fortunately, with the Alistar ult on, there's not that much damage that Wako can pump back. And it's this long chase down sequence. Baron's not up yet. They had nothing to really capitalize on, so they instead focus on clearing minions. And Adam caught out here. You can see, though, not taking that much damage if there's no big Aphelios to hit him down with. And so here, trying to stick around, trying to do the Darius, heal up, land these massive Qs that bring you back up to full health. But Wako showed up before then.
Wako's got himself a GA now, so Flash Cleanse, GA, and all the kite in the world. PSG will get them onto Soul Point with this one. We are having, at minimum, 6 dragons, maybe 7 if we get that far, but this game could not be closer.
We were joking about it in game one. Where we get the 7 dragons. I think we're getting it this time. We might see 8 if it comes down to an Elder. Baron is up, though, and you can already see BDS is primed to burn this one down.
Lady
Maple,
carry.
a little late in base, going to have to teleport in. Does still have the ultimate available and just finish off his Void Staff.
They're starting it, and that's going to burn down so quickly. JunJia has to get on top of this. There's a Cataclysm, but JunJia can't join back on top of this one. Flash away by Adam as the Baron goes down. Perfectly done by BDS, but can they get anything else? Labrov on the flank, looking for a little bit more, but just gets stunned right off the W of the Taliyah. They have to reset, though. Super Minions are pushing in the bot side. It's a good move from BDS, but it can turn into a terrible one if they don't get out alive.
We'll have to see if they can get a clean recall off here. One is out in Crownie, but the rest are being chased down.
Oh, nice punt backwards. The flash in with the Magnet Storm. They're going to jump down onto Adam. Getting out with only 1 death would be very nice indeed. Azhi trying to move forward on top of this. Does get the ultimate down on top of Sheo. That's another staggered death timer. As you can see, Crownie was the one to deal with the super minions. Now Labrov trying to just be the hero for his team as he gets taken out. It took too long for them to clear out their waves, and it meant that 3 members of BDS are dead.
3 members dead, only the carries left alive, but no minion waves from PSG, and Crownie knowing he wants to get this shoving so that they have no way to end the game because it's long death timers. It's 30 seconds. If they don't clear these waves out,
be fine.
PSG will escort some in, and so BDS do what they need to do. They clear these waves out and then use the empowered recall to get back safely. Still, though, there is a wave in 20 seconds. They're at least going to get some inhibitors here, most likely, for PSG.
You'd imagine they will at least get 1. Couple of people coming back in about 15 seconds or so. They might try and they don't have minions. And they will be cleared out fairly quickly, so I don't think they're going to be able to end, but that's 2 inhibitors down. This Red Bull Baron power play will be for naught at the moment, and I almost want a live cam on Medic to see how he's doing, because this man is probably going through the ringer right now.
I bet a lot of EU fans are on their feet pacing and screaming at their monitors, but here I love the call. Burn the Baron down, get out, and get back to your base. If you don't do that and you let the super creeps push, you don't have Adams who can deal with the wave and then teleport in. So you go, let's go flip the Baron. If we get the Baron, we get out and we deal with the wave later. Whereas if you deal with the wave first, it's a free Baron to PSG. So you at least get to take this away, and at best you're hoping to just cost Adams' life, but the chase down sequence here was so good for PSG that they could clear out 3 members. And we still, at the tail end of that, it's a 1,000-ish goal lead for PSG.
Not even! It's insane! The Dragon Soul will be confirmed in 2 minutes, 20 seconds. It is 39 minutes. Game 5. Win and you go to Swiss. Lose and your season, your year, your entire being is done for a while. The win probability powered by AWS, they don't even know. Look at the way he's going up and down. What's going on in this game?
It's a heart rate monitor looking at that thing. And like you said here, anything can happen from this point on. It is, I would say, PSG favored, not just because of the gold lead, not just because they have...
Gold lead is not a gold lead.
Yeah, no. Absolutely not the important thing. It is the map pressure that they have with double inhibitors down, meaning that these are super creeps spawning in. Right now, you know, BDS is doing a perfectly good job clearing them out because they have the Baron buff. That's about to time out just now, and that's still a minute and a half before the next Dragon spawns. And so once those super creeps are no longer bumping up against Baron creeps, PSG will be able to grab map control back most likely.
Take a breath. Whew. Take a breather.
Shake it out. Shake your hands.
Left foot, right foot. Do the hanky-panky. The hokey-pokey, not the hanky-panky. slightly different.
Different context.
different thing. Get a little bit loopy. PSG kind of rewarded by the fact that they have got so many standing towers for the moment. Nuke coming down to this bot side, clearing out another wave. This is the thing with double AD carries, you can control these waves so easily.
And we talk about map mobility and we're looking at Taliyah's ultimate, but honestly, being able to ride walls and hop over them with Nuke actually gives them a lot more access to these minions, and so they're doing a great job not letting PSG really get that much map control. Here, PSG has decided to shove in mid-wave and trying to sort this one in, but you can still see Crownie melts these if you let him have access to auto-attacking.
That's the thing, once he's on single target on that super minion, he's not going to be in any way danger of kind of getting caught. Now Woody galloping towards this dragon. 30 seconds of spawns. Gold dead even. I don't know, do BDS want to fight this? I feel like they have to. You can't just let this one go. You're not going to have many more opportunities to have a straight 5v5 that's not in your base.
No, I absolutely think that you try and step forward and contest this one here.
Wait to see where they want to go. For now, there is a good little flank here for Labrov. He's found himself the fog of war. The super minions have been dealt with for the moment. They will destroy this dragon so quick. PSG, 5-man strong. Labrov moving in to try and find some kind of a flank. He has been spotted by Maple and immediately has to go into his ultimate. JunJia's in the pit, and now they have to try and burn down this dragon before he can. No, Soul confirmed for BDS. Now they got this Moonlight Vigil completely whiffing. JunJia has to flash away and he stays alive. The objective was confirmed, but that only stems the bleeding because they've got to deal with these waves.
Still absolutely huge play by BDS. They're so well done. Labrov called out, I was worried that the Alistar ultimate was going to cost them the situation, but the focus of the double marksman to burn that down forced JunJia to commit to it, allowed them to grab Soul, and have enough control now that these super creeps are being dealt with quite easily by the late game double marksman.
I want to reiterate it. I said it in the last game, and it was just said in my ear again. BDS have only lost with Soul once this year. So they have got a pretty high win rate when they have Soul. Yes, it is not the most impactful in the world, but you think about the things that you can do with extra movement speed when Sheo drops his ult, when the Alistar drops his. There's so much playmaking ability. Yeah, Woody and Maple, they needed to leave very, very quickly. These inhibitors will be respawning very soon as well. No more super minions in top or bot, or sorry, mid or bot.
I will say most games where you get a Soul, it's not quite this close, but I feel like the advantage might have swung back to BDS.
You got bot lane still with one super minion, so that's going to push in and give pressure. Baron spawning in 4 seconds. You will have to try and make this as quick as you possibly can. Labrov has been a hero for his side so far in this series, in this entire tournament. Can he get one more big play? He's looking for it. He may be able to hex flash over the wall. Woody might be the target. Labrov does kind of get spotted out a little bit. Now you can see the lightning crash comes down. JunJia goes completely hayward. Azhi is dead, and now the resets can come in. Wako needs to run away, but he's smited down. He has a stopwatch, but he's on so little HP. BDS are doing it. BDS are killing them. And BDS will complete it! Quadra kill for Nuke! Be damned your curses! Be damned your expectations! BDS are going to Swiss!
They've done it! The reverse sweep by BDS! The redemption from falling at the hands of Mad Lions in Spring Split, able to make the main stage of Worlds.
There has only been 2 previous reverse sweeps at Worlds. This will be the 3rd, and it will be the first for LEC. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and BDS are going to the main stage.
The absolute elation on that squad's face, doing it the hard way, dropping down in the beginning of day 1 and having to rally through the losers bracket and reverse sweep into the advancement best of 5 series.
What a series. And just a quick reminder, while we're all having elation, stay tuned for the Swiss stage draw show starting in just a few minutes. But let's soak this moment in for BDS, because what a way to come back into this series. They look down and out 2 games in, and to win in this fashion, to have this game go so close. And it's I want to say, for me, I don't know whoever was going to be actually given the player of the series. It's Labrov. Labrov, for me, was exceptional throughout all of the wins for BDS.
Absolutely huge, being able to find so many angles. I got to shout Sheo out as well, because that final smite was contested, and he was able to once again come up with the clutch smite, get the soul, which I think ended up giving them a lot of power in that final fight to chase down Wako, being able to get on top of him and not let that Aphelios kite it out.
He looks exhausted. He looks exhausted.
He's exhausted, but he's still smiling. He made it work on his champions. He got through the whole list of gods in this series, even threw an R in there as well with Renekton.
And look, I always say this, when there are winners, unfortunately, there are losers. The PCS #1, PSG Talon, find themselves and their region out of Worlds 2023.
All the hopes were left on them after CFO was taken out by BDS as well, and they had a really good showing. I thought multiple times in the series they were ready to advance. After game 2, I thought game 3 would go heavily in their favor, and then even in this game, when they had the double inhibitors down, when they were winning some of those mid-game fights with Wako, I thought maybe this is it. Maybe they'll be able to just use this map advantage, but BDS had such good setups around the neutral objectives to find angles to claw their way back into this game.
I mean, you gotta remember, they were 2 inhibitors down. This was BDS gonna say, look, we have to fight. We can't sit back and wait.
And I love that evolution for this team, even within just this tournament, where on day 1, when they got hit in the jaw, it felt like they totally let off the gas and they let other people make plays against them. And here, on the back foot, with super creeps pouring into their base, they said, we have to flip this Baron. And they made the difficult decisions. And that's how they ended up coming back.
And that's how you win games. That's how you advance in Worlds. You back yourself. And we're going to send it straight over to Worlds cooldown. Ender and a very elated Goldberg. Over to you guys.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about! Let's get that jacket off him! Let's get that jacket off him!
I promised I'd wear it if it happened.
Show it to the camera, my friend.
All right.
Oh my god.
That is just absolutely gorgeous.
I can smell it.
Fashion at its
fantastic.
finest. Congratulations
Oh
to Team BDS. Look, this team found themselves just 5 months ago. They were in the spring finals in the LEC, where they were up 2-0 and got reverse swept by the Mad Lions to be denied a position at MSI. Now they pull off the reverse sweep here to deny the European play-ins curse and make it to the Swiss stage.
Just the way it started, like, this game looked hopeless. It was a slow burner, nothing happened. Wako took over in the Kaiser, and just to contrast that to the ending, completely different. BDS looked defeated in the beginning of this series.
Some of these replays are just at the start of the series to showcase how hard it was of a track for BDS to make this comeback. A lot of the focus was on draft because they weren't playing their game. Then they throw out the Olaf. And a lot of people are saying, oh, they're doing it just to spell out gods before they go back home, right? That is not the case. It was a perfect angle for them. The Kai'Sa pickup made it so much better for Crownie. It was a tough one for them. And then we got to see Garrett come out.
Ooh, Adam Smasher in the top lane absolutely carves up PSG Talon. It was a fantastic performance from him. And then in this final game, they lose both inhibitors, but find this gorgeous, gorgeous team fight around the mid lane. Nuke, the redemption story of him dominating in this game throughout with the quadra to
I can't
finish.
remember the last time I watched a series this tense. I think the goal graph shows it. You could see it. They started getting ahead, then they fell back into it. Then they got a good team fight again, then they fell back into it. And then we got to that late game where the gold lead just kind of did not matter. Everyone was almost full items. Everything came down to execution. And in the end, it was BDS that executed upon it.
Yeah, Crownie started off it was a hard one early on, but he farmed up, team fights were better. I think everyone stepped up. Huge series for Adam. He stepped up big to put them in this momentum, for them to even be in a game 5. Azhi still couldn't handle him. That solo kill top lane on the Gnar. They tried everything. They even early picked the Gnar because that felt like the only pick he could have versus him was not enough.
I think Sheo might have broken the chair or the armrest he was showing to the camera right there. I'm not sure what that was. But
a little too much excitement at the end there.
I mean, who wouldn't be?
Straight up. Just an absolutely incredible Game 5, an incredible series, and we're going to see what Nuke has to say after that fantastic game in the Verizon post-game interview.
It's been a long day for BDS and a couple heart attacks for EU fan, but in the end, they make it, and we will see BDS making their debut in the Sweet Stage next week. Nuke, thank you so much, merci beaucoup, for joining me. It's been an incredible day for you. Tell me about the third game. You're down 0-2. If you lose, you're out. If you lose, you have to go home. How did you guys reset? How did you guys get ready for this game 3 and pull the reverse sweep in the end?
I mean, I'm thankful to God because enemy just ran it down the draft. It was so crazy. Like, if they didn't change their playstyle and everything, we would probably lose, I think. But since they went Sylas and everything, I had Azhi, except the mid dive that I inted totally. This game was totally free win. And it just gave us momentum, and we just got back into the track, and yeah.
How did you feel in that last moment before the last Nexus exploded, when you finally realized that you guys finally made it and pulled the reverse sweep?
Crazy moment. I mean, the game was way harder than it should be. I think under the pressure, everyone just collapsed at some point. There's something that comes into my mind is the Nash fight.
Yeah.
It's 5v4, and we're just running away instead of acing them. This is one of the many thing happened this game, and I mean we just got it through. So this is the most important. So yeah, I'm happy.
It must be so hard to stay calm and collected in moments like this, and taking a step back, looking at the journey you had, Nuke. Actually, looking at last with BDS, coming into this year in the LEC, no one believed in you guys. You guys were ranked 10, 9 in the LEC standing. Next week, you're about to play your very first Swiss stage at Worlds. How does that make you feel?
Feeling great. I mean, the last year and a half, before this year, right? I lost everything confidence-wise. I was just collapsing slowly, and yeah, this was probably the hardest year of my life, where I had to get back to good gameplay, to have good confidence, to just be a good mid laner, right? And it was a long journey. There were a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of everything, basically every emotion possible that came into my mind, and we are at World main stage, which is crazy. So yeah, I'm super happy.
I remember that you tweeted something 3 years ago.
Yeah,
you said,
true.
In 3 years, in 2023, I will be at Worlds.
Yeah.
You did it in the end. If you could speak to your former self from 3 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think he would ever believe what I would say to him, but just keep going, don't stop. Even for everyone that is following this path of e-sport and just video game overall, since there's a few people that succeed, just never give up and just keep going until the end, until you die, basically.
You worked for it. You did everything you could, and you're entering the Big Boys Club for next week, facing off against the likes of Knight, Chovy, Palafox. These are your potential opponents. What are your thoughts when you think about this opposition in the mid lane and what you'll be looking to achieve here at Worlds?
I mean, yeah, it will be a first time, right? It's my totally first experience. I still have to get used to the stage pressure and everything. And now we will even change the stage, change place, everything basically. Yeah, big names, Chovy and everything. I just give everything I have. I think we did the best thing we could do this year, which qualified towards group stage. Now it's just to give everyone happiness by trying to play good and just delivering good gameplay, trying against the biggest team in the world.
I just hope you get everything you want from this world stage. I'm losing it here completely. Thank you so much, Luc, for the interview. Merci beaucoup. Félicitations de la part de toute l'Europe. And back to you guys.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lore. Nuke, man of the hour there in the final game, dominating. And I think throughout, you heard about the roller coaster year that BDS had from the preseason expectations to spring to now here at Worlds. But when you even just look at how they got to this match, how many games they played with 4 players never on the international stage before, the amount they've learned is massive.
I will say right now, when BDS came into this year and they kept Nuke on the roster, I was that critic that said, okay, you're going 10th again. Because if the same gameplay we saw from over a year ago was going to present itself on the roster, it wouldn't amount to anything. But this is a guy, as he said himself, he worked hard. He was not just a Relia player or that Victory player he was when he was playing EMEA Masters as well. He elevated himself past what was needed from him, found himself on the Tristana in this game, had the Azhi, had the Orianna continuously banned against him. And while the champion pool is still slim, you cannot deny now that this guy absolutely deserves to be here, and he's blew the expectations through the roof.
Let's not forget what his name used. His name used to have Int in it, man, and now it's Nuke Carry right there. What a game 5 from him.
Yeah, you mentioned the year. Talking about their career, that was a beautiful interview from Laura. I don't think he can get any better than that. Taking a snapshot in a career like that, talking about the confidence, feeling like it's collapsing on himself, just looking at the roster down the line. Adam and Crownie both found themselves in LFL not able to find an LEC spot, right? When you're in that position, it's like, what do I need to do to get back in there? Is this the end of my career? A lot of the players will have that feeling. Both Labrov and Crownie had that same exact experience being on Vitality before. And so being on the same team together, having that kind of support group, knowing and having that faith in each other because they have been in that shared experience, that means a lot. Because you're talking about how much of a roller coaster it's been throughout a year. When you've had that throughout your career before this year, you know you can get out of it. So that's a really inspirational interview and an inspirational story for these players, and I just want to see them continue.
It's just been amazing to see their journey, their games, everything throughout. But as we move in towards the Swiss stage, we're going to take a final look at the play-ins bracket. Soon, we're going to be drawing our 8 matchups for the opening round. Earlier today, GAM Esports took down Team Wales in that VCS Autumn Finals rematch. And of course, we also have Team BDS advancing. That does mean no representatives from the PCS will make it to the Swiss stage. And those 4th seeds that we named will be facing either JDG, GenG, G2, or NRG.
It's a very stacked roster you'll be going up against here. It also kind of makes it a bit more tough for G2 actually that BDS made it through, because you cannot pull your own region, which means that either it's GAM, Weibo Gaming, or Downone now actually that they're going up against.
Hey, and I'll say, even though it'll make the pool a little harder for your first game in Swiss, from that point forward, it's a lot easier, I think, kind of like compared to group stage of last year. You're not just stuck in a bad group. You can fight your way out as long as you are learning throughout. If you're finding yourself in a good matchup going into the second, third portions of the Swiss stage, I really love this format.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. And BDS already sort of got to see some of the boons from results. Just the raw quantity of games that they got to play and their read on the meta from the Ezreal Renekton first pick prio from their first series to now with all the counter picks and everything, they have come a very long way. But earlier today, GAM Esports secured their spot in the Swiss stage, and Laura caught up with Levi in the Verizon post-game interview.
Welcome back to Seoul, as GAM will be representing the VCS in the Swiss stage, and I have Levi with me to talk about this qualification. Thank you so much for joining me, and congrats on making it to the first round. It must be an important victory for you, especially when you think of the way things went at MSI. What was the first thought that crossed your mind when the last Nexus exploded, reflecting on the year and the last round you had internationally?
Thì khi mà cái giây phút mà cái nhà chính cuối cùng vừa rồi á, nó mới vừa nổ tung lên á, thì em đã có những cái suy nghĩ nào thoáng qua đầu mình?
Thực sự thì em chẳng nghĩ gì cả. Em chỉ cảm thấy rất là hạnh phúc bởi vì mình đã làm được.
Honestly, I didn't think of anything. I just felt immense happy for because I've done it.
All right, well, let's focus on the next stage then. You can only face off against Pool 1 teams. That includes JunJia, JDG, G2, and RG. Any thoughts on these matchups and the junglers that you're going to have to face off against?
Thì sắp tới là em sẽ gặp JDG.
Có thể.
Em có thể sẽ gặp là JDG, NRG,
G2 and JunJia.
và JunJia. Và em sẽ gặp những người đi rừng của họ. Thì em cảm thấy thế nào?
Em nghĩ là hai đại diện của Hàn Quốc và Trung Quốc quá mạnh. Em nghĩ là trong 4 đội đấy thì có lẽ là đại diện của Bắc Mỹ là Energy sẽ dễ đối đầu nhất. Nên em hy vọng là sẽ gặp may mắn.
I think the opponents from LPL and LCK are the toughest one. And the representatives from LCS is something maybe I can handle. And with luck, we'll get a victory.
We'll see about the draw at the end of the day, of course. I want to follow up on something you said the last time we had an interview. The fact that you felt inspired over the years from the players who keep on thriving, pushing themselves, and who never give up. With this in mind, what is your resolution for the next stage?
Thì lần trước khi mà phỏng vấn với chị á, thì em có nói là sau những cái năm mà chinh chiến ở các đấu trường quốc tế á, là em rất là được inspire bởi những cái bạn kiểu giống như là đã đứng ở trên đỉnh rồi nhưng vẫn không có ngừng cố gắng á. Thì lần này khi em tiến vào vòng trong thì cái suy nghĩ của em sẽ là gì?
Bọn em cũng đang rất là nỗ lực, rất là cố gắng để có thể tiến sâu hơn ở trong cái thế giới, và bọn em hy vọng là với những cái suy nghĩ đó thì bọn em có thể làm được.
We are also trying non-stop on our side, and I hope that with the inspiration, we can make it.
And last question for you. Do you have any message for the international fans watching this interview right now? What can they expect from GAM?
I hope to show you guys some entertainment matches.
Entertaining matches, amazing. Levi, thank you so much, Cameron, for the interview. And Koa, thank you so much for the translation, as always. And you guys, back to you.
That's it from Levi there, making it on into the Swiss stage and previewing a potential matchup against NRG. Raz, how do you think that match would go down?
Hey, I'm ready for it. That would be an exciting one. I still think, obviously, NRG will take it, but GAM has a history in 2017 to bop a specific IMT. And Fnatic as well. So I'm just saying you could take those hands too.
Was that the Ezreal jungle year? Is that the Smithy flashbacks?
Sure.
Okay, I like it.
I'm also saying, you know, Levi's got some history at NA after going to 100 Thieves, so maybe there's something to play for too there if you go up against NRG. I think that would be very good.
That's true.
There could be some spice to be had for sure. I think that, obviously, for him, he's saying that's the match you want to face off. Makes sense because a lot of those Seed 1s are looking incredibly powerful.
Very true. And we were talking a lot about the inspirational point for BDS, but for GAM to be able to find their form again and be in the main stage is just important. That was needed for them as a team to show themselves, the region, that they could do it. So I'm excited to see them play.
Yeah, I mean, we're living in a world now where VCS has advanced to the Swiss stage, PCS has not, and as you can see behind
kind of seeing the setup behind
we're getting ready.
Yeah,
we've got some new ways of drawing the pools this year. You know, we've done what? We've done the balls, we've done the cards.
Yes.
Now we've got the baggies. We're doing it all.
True.
What's your preferred mode of group drawing?
I like this. I know the cultural significance, I've been told, so I think this is a very cute way, and I think it's going to be a fun win.
As long as Sotoamne is not drawing it, I'm super happy about this. Like, I know he's in Korea right now, so if he comes out with a steel chair, whatever it is, from the sideline drawing these, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, I don't think security would let that happen.
I'm hoping. I really hope not.
I just want a Jizuke moment holding RNG upside down.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I'm not sure if it's paper inside.
It is paper inside.
It is paper inside,
Yes.
so there's chances to be upside down unless it's like a card and it
Yeah.
goes both ways. We'll have to end up seeing exactly how it
Got
all
to see the
pans out.
rehearsals a little bit, so they do randomize it, obviously. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
Oh, let's head down
Got
to
the word.
the main stage in Seoul. It's time for the Swiss stage draw.
To the Swiss Stage Round 1 Throw Show. I'm your host, Hyojibeh. Nice to meet you. 네, 오늘까지 플레잉 경기를 모두 마쳤고요. 드디어
We will
스위스
draw the
스테이지에
first
진출한
draw for Pool 1
16개 팀이
against Pool
모두
4
가려지게
before continuing
됐습니다.
to the Pool 2
진출한
and
팀들에게
Pool
다시
3.
한번
Same
축하
region is not
인사를
able to be
올립니다.
matched up in round
스위스
1,
스테이지
and the draw order
1라운드
may not
대진
reflect the order
추첨식을
in which the
여러분의
games
뜨거운
will
박수와
be
함께
played.
시작하겠습니다.
For today's draw, the teams are divided into 4 pools. Pool 1 consisting of JunJia, JDG, G2, and NRG. In Pool 2, we have T1, BLG, Mad Lions, Lions, and Cloud9. Pool 3 has KT, LNG, Fnatic, and Team Liquid. And Pool 4 has Damwon, WBG, GAM, and BDS.
I'm excited to see. I mean, this is what it's all about. Just a lot of talk about JDG and Gen.G, like the top teams going into Seed 1. I'm excited to see who they're going to be facing off right from the get-go. Any teams you're excited for?
I'm looking at Pool 3 at LNG. You know, they're one of my favorites. I've always been a hardcore LNG fan, even when I was casting that region for Javi in the LPL. And honestly, they've been taking JDG to 5 games multiple times, even beating out PLG. So I'm kind of seeing them as a dark horse in Pool 3 where people might get scared of them.
They definitely made the right pickups going into Summer Split, picking up Gala. Scout's been out playing insane. For me, it's going to be T1. They had trials and tribulations throughout the split. FLICKR came back and righted a lot of wrongs for the team, and now they're here in Pool 2, so nice to see how they end up performing in homeland territory.
Oh yeah, that would be a big one, FLICKR. But now we're going to send it down to Seoul with Hejibei to meet our draw show guest. Live translation will be provided by Jisun Park.
To help the Swiss stage draw, everyone, please welcome the LCK's legendary support, Mara. He's the champion of Worlds 2014, hosted in Korea, and the first ever support player to win Worlds MVP. Welcome, Mara. Hello, everyone. I'm Mara, former League of Legends professional player. It is our honor to invite you to the draw show. Mara, how do you feel? Are you ready? I've always just watched it from home. Now that I can do the draw, I think this is a great opportunity for me. I'm looking forward to making a lot of LCK versus LPL matchups. I came here like early this morning and I was watching all 9 games today, and I want to make BDS to meet Gen.G or JDG if possible. And Mara, I want to hear your thoughts on the Swiss stage, a new format. Yeah, this is a completely new format, and starting from round 2, we can have like regional matchups, so I think it's gonna be a lot more interesting than before. I cannot wait to have all the draw results. And as Worlds is being hosted in Korea, we are featuring a special and traditional item for the draw. These are called 복주머니, the bags on the stand. It is Korea's traditional pouch, meaning fortune pouch. For competitive integrity, Mara, do you want to make some change or shuffle the bags? Here we go. Another swap.
세 번째 풀도 가나요? 혜진님이 한번 뽑아주시면. 그렇다면 저는 이렇게 한번 바꿔볼게요.
And then Heji also making some changes.
마타님이 마지막.
Mara, you want to go for the last one?
1번, 3번 위치를 또 한번 바꿔봤습니다.
There we have it
자,
all.
저희가 공정성을 조금 더 더하기 위해서
But before we actually start,
이거 바꿔주세요.
is there anyone in the audience who would like to join us as well?
크게 이야기해 주세요. 이렇게 조용할 수가.
Everyone is being super quiet. Anyone want to make a change?
얘기해 주세요. 2번 풀에 1번과 3번.
Pool 2, number 2, number 1 and 3. They reset Mara's change.
네, 여기.
And last one?
여자분. 4번 풀에 1번과
Pool 4,
4번의 자리를
number 1 and 4.
자, 이렇게 해서 저희가 정말 공정하게 많은 분들의
Now
의견을
we are ready to start the draw.
자, 그렇다면 이제 복주머니 위치도 바뀌었겠다.
Mara, let's get started.
볼까요? 자, 그럼 본격적으로 스위스 스테이지 1라운드 대진 추첨을 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 마타님 먼저 1번 풀 첫 번째 팀부터
To see what we've got up here first, the first team of the Swiss stage draw. Motto, what's it going to be?
What we're getting now.
The suspense is killing me. We've got Gen.G. Of course, we got to kick it off with Gen.G.
Number one coming out from Korea, of course, and maybe not the favorites, but I think a lot of people see them as contenders for JDG after an MSI where Korea couldn't really contest with the LPL. I think a lot of people are looking towards JunJia in terms of trying to stop that golden road to happen.
Slow and steady wins the race, carried by Jovi and Taze. My boys NRG getting on there, so gonna be the second team picked here.
It's going to be easy in the beginning with the pool ones. We don't really have to contest in the beginning. We just get the order for them here. Is it going to be a G2?
I'm thinking it's G2 coming in right here.
Yeah, we're going pretty fast here.
We're just blitzing through it. I absolutely love it. And it is G2. How did we know?
We're just
That's crazy.
Wait, don't make it sound so sarcastic.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that. I promise. I promise. Now, of course, G2, also the number ones, dominating pretty much all year long, apart from a small slip in spring. But they are looking very good. The final team, of course, from the LPL will be JDG to round out our pool.
Yeah, I'm looking to finish the golden road for that team. As you can see, this is the round matches what we've seen so far of our first seed teams.
And now the next forward drawing, these are going to be their opponents going across here. So Mata, which one's he going to go for here? He's debating.
Craziest one you can get is a Weibo.
Let's see. The suspense is killing me.
지금 팬분들이 원하는 팀을 막 불러주고 계신데요. 과연 어떤 팀일지.
He really likes to take his time, doesn't he?
He is. He's getting to peak first. He likes this one.
All right off the bat. Love to see that. So that'll be JunJia versus Gam to start things off.
Immediately, Levi is not getting his way. He's getting one of the hardest opponents you can get.
That's going to be difficult. I believe the second team we drew was NRG. We'll see what we've got here for Mata in his hands. These pool 4 teams, so a BDS could be here. We've also got Weibo.
That one is the hardest one you can get for sure, outside of like D+ gaming actually. So, well, I'm looking forward to that Dokle the Shy matchup.
That's a good one. I think Kadril is also looking forward to that one.
He's looking for the Shy versus any matchup.
Yeah, pretty sure. Oh my god, that's certainly a way to sort of enter into the world stage, getting to go up against Superstar up there.
That's a storied matchup. Multiple quarterfinals between G2 and Damwon Gaming. You know, going back and forth, but doable.
And now for the final matchup here versus JDG. I don't know if you can fill in the blanks of what's been left open here, but that's BDS.
Yes. What better way to start the golden road?
BDS in there.
Let's see, how does 369 deal with the Darius, Garen? I want to answer that
Honestly,
question.
yeah, any matchup BDS goes into, top lane's going to be awesome. But now we move on to Pool 2 for our next 4 teams. They'll, of course, be facing against the 4 teams from Pool number 3. The middle of the road here. Any chances to break in towards the top, but you might recognize perhaps a T1 as a team that some people might know floating around here.
Yeah, and just to remind, Pool 2 does consist of T1, BLG, Fnatic, and Cloud9. Just for a refresh of memory there.
It's funny because T1, Fnatic, C9 used to always be the group of death that we would draw every single time. Like, that was always Group C, the absolute bloodbath. Now, in round 1, all 3 of those teams will be avoiding each other to face off against the Pool 3 reps.
Let's see what he's going for right now. One of the most demonic matchups you can get here is a T1 versus LNG.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm a different way than you. T1 is there, but there is a possibility of a MSI rematch between T1 and Mad Lions, which for a lot of people might be even more interesting.
Yeah. Look, if your bedtime is important to you and you want to go to bed early, that's a very good matchup for you. If you want to see a lot of League, it's not a great match.
Yes.
I'm liking redemption. It could be a redemption angle for the boys.
I always like a good redemption angle. Reminder that teams from the same region cannot play in the first round here. So that'll be important when we move over into pool number 3, but that'll be Cloud9 coming in as the second match out of pool 2.
Yeah, they were quite disappointed finishing second in the fashion that they did for how they dominated during the regular season. So boot camp is the biggest focus for them to see if they can get any better going into the tournament.
BLG and Fnatic left.
And it'll be BLG coming in from the LPL here. So now we don't have any matchups yet. We're just drawing the 4 teams first, and then the pool 3 teams will have to face off against them. But of course, last should end up being Fnatic here, and it is this team coming in with mixed expectations. Of course, towards the end of the season finals, Wunder came in as an emergency substitute for Fnatic, so they are a bit of an unknown quantity that will be the final matchup here between pool 2 and 3. Now we can go ahead and draw the matchup, starting with T1's opponent in the first round.
This is where it gets exciting. Once again, KT Rolster, LNG, Mad Lions, and Team Liquid left in the pool 3.
Which matchup are you interested in for this one? We already talked about the LNG and Mad matchup. I want to see KT. They made it difficult. Obviously cannot be played against T1. If they do get picked, they would have to be bumped down to C9. Something like that.
I could see a world where a T1 versus TL might be a little bit spicy. I'm sorry to put that on your plate.
I am crying.
Who will be the stronger team? Yeah, that is a tough one to draw right off the rip. But you're gonna, if you want to win it all, you're going to have to go through T1 at some point. You would have to imagine. Second matchup here. Who's it going to be?
The matchups there are exciting.
Not giving us the answers. This is Mad Lions.
So we do get an EU versus NA again. It's Cloud9 against Mad Lions.
Hold on.
How many times?
Who's Mad Lions mid laner?
That is Niski.
Ooh, that's kind of a fun little matchup, isn't it?
You'll love to see that.
Niski versus the former team over in Cloud9. Couldn't have asked for a better one. Unfortunately, we can't get Fnatic versus Team Liquid. That would have given us the perfect back-to-back NA versus EU. But the third team being drawn here by Mata will be LNG.
So
they would have to face Fnatic, is my understanding, because they cannot go up against BLG.
Yes. Of course, again, if you are just joining us, teams from the same region cannot face off in the first round of Swiss Stage. After that, anything's game. First round, not going to happen. So it will be KT going up against BLG with the swap over to Fnatic and LNG. To close the draw, we will be sending it back over to Heiji with translations from Jisa.
Now let's take a look at the final results.
그리고 징동과 BDS 대결 이미 준비가 되어 있고요. 그리고 2시드와 3시드도 확인해 보겠습니다. T1과 팀 리퀴드, 그리고 C9과 매드라이언즈, BLG와 KT, 그리고 프나틱과 마지막으로 LNG 대결 준비되어 있습니다. 자, 이렇게 결과가 나오게 됐네요.
With that, we have all the matches decided for Swiss round 1. Mata, are you happy how it turned out? I am very, very unhappy. I really wanted to make LCK versus LPL match, but still, BDS, KT, BLG, those matches are gonna be pretty good. I'll take those. Then Mata, which match do you look forward to the most? G2 versus DK and BLG versus KT. I really want to see how it turns out. Especially, I was part of KT in the past. So KT versus BLG is gonna be a banger. Especially the top side of the map, you know? Their top side are both really strong. So Pin versus Keen will be so fun to watch. Thank you for your time, Mata. Please give it up one more time for Mata, and thank you everyone for tuning in. We will be back on October 19th with a brand new Swiss Stage format. Thank you everyone.
저희는 여기서 인사드리도록 하겠습니다. 함께 해주신 여러분 고맙습니다.
I am so looking forward to this Swiss stage. And I love Mata with the chaos of wanting to get a little bit more LCK LPL, but I'm sure that is going to find us a little bit later in this event. I think we've got some great matchups right off the rip. I'm personally super excited for Mad Lions versus Cloud9. That's going to be fire.
I know you mentioned the fact that it was a former mid laner, Niski going up against his old team. I'm interested in Blabber versus Elyoya, two jungle powerhouses. That matchup has a lot going for it. So that one for sure catches my mind immediately.
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling quite good about the first draw we had with G2 versus Damwon. I think that's going to be really exciting. I actually think it's doable for G2 to actually come up and contest here. I do feel a bit bad for the likes of BDS going straight into JDG.
Well, you know, maybe don't be fourth seed.
Yes.
Sorry.
But outside of that, another one, I guess, is just like Fnatic versus LNG. Like, as I said, I'm super excited about LNG.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about our EU team. So that for me is just a matchup that I'm going to have my eyes peeled on.
I mean, if you're talking about Fnatic, like seeing Noah on the international stage, I think just has to give you so much excitement how that's going to go for sure.
Yike versus Canyon. You mentioned Goldberg, the G2 versus D plus history. Showmaker versus Caps. Showcaps. That one's going to be a great matchup overall. I know Showmaker's had like an up and down split overall, but I think that would really come in the clutch. And I just want to see the Energy Boys on an international stage. The first time they came in as first seed, surprised a lot of people throughout their split. They had high highs, beating all the best teams and then losing to some of the worst teams during the regular season. And then they go into playoffs and then shock everyone. I think people would be really surprised at how good these players can be. That being said, going to be very tough. Xiaohu versus Palafox is the matchup I want to see. Xiaohu has just been a demon, so I do think he's going to obviously have the heads up on that one, but it's the first games.
It's funny how like NRG are like the expected favorite from NA, but also kind of the wild card in my eyes, because like usually when you come to international events, Cloud9 is always the team. Even if they're not the #1 seed, they're usually performing.
Yes.
NRG have a chance to do something special here.
I was just looking at that BLG versus KT in the beginning as well. That's a banger between China and Korea. BLG, of course, had a great performance at MSI. KT looking for redemption for what happened this summer in the LCK. Going up against another region like this, I mean, what better opportunity for it?
Look, that's enough waffling from us for now. I want to get a reaction on the draw from Crownie, who will be facing the reigning MSI champions JDG in our Verizon postgame interview.
We could not wrap up the playing stage without talking to Crownie now that you guys have your opponent. Thank you so much for joining me.
No problem.
First things first, let's talk a bit about what we just witnessed for the past 4 or 5 hours. I don't know how long it was. How did you react when you grabbed the win and realizing that you did it and you would advance to the Swiss stage?
I think first I don't even remember the fight exactly. I know we killed someone first and then we just started killing more and more. My GA popped, so then it's not like on me to kill them, but Nuke was like free hitting because the Taliyah used her spells. And then we like kill everyone and then Nuke started screaming, but we like didn't have a wave. So I was like, still not sure if I end, but then it kind of started hitting me slowly, and I looked at Labrov, and then it was crazy.
It was a beautiful victory. Nothing is easy with Europe ever anyway, but moving on, we just had the draw. You versus Ruler in the first game. Any first thoughts on this matchup and JDG as a whole?
I mean, I think Ruler is pretty much the ADC GOAT right now. Yeah. So, of course, it's not going to be easy. I think me and Labrov just need to play even better than we did. I think we did some mistakes. We just need to be very, very good 2v2. Because against these teams, if you give them like an inch, they will just take everything. So, yeah. Obviously, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
I never thought I would be playing against Ruler in this year, you know. So I'm just grateful, yeah.
It's actually amazing because I know that I tell you this all the time, but you've been playing for so long and this is actually your first World Championship participation. What are you looking to prove here, Crownie?
I mean, I think we proved a lot of people wrong, not only me individually, but our whole team this year. I think we've been doubted since the roster was announced, and then from January, pretty much the whole year, even in spring when we were winning everything. And now, after we won against GGS, people believed for a bit, but then when we lost again, they stopped believing. But I think we proved to everyone that, you know, we play what works for us, kind of. Obviously, sometimes we go a bit away from that and we struggle a bit, but as long as we find ourselves in time, it's good. But yeah, I think I proved to everyone that I belong to be here. And yeah, I think all of my teammates did too, yeah.
Well, wishing you the best of luck in the next stage, of course. Thank you so much for the interview. Congrats again on qualifying for Swiss. And back to you guys in Dublin.
It was just a commendable effort from BDS all year long, and especially in the last week. What a grind. I imagine the players are exhausted. We've also had 9 games go down today. Yeah. I'm personally exhausted.
11 to 12 hours.
It is absolutely brutal. But I think BDS have now like realized a lot of their potential coming into Worlds.
I think so too. And I think, of course, a lot of people are looking at BDS, looking forward at the Swiss stage, and know it's going to be hard with how they almost managed to not get out of the play-ins. But I also think that they've kind of succeeded already from what the expectation should be to this team. And I think whatever they gain now will only be more experience. You see how young these players are. You saw how little Worlds appearances they had. This was a lot of them's first Worlds ever. So even making it here will give them a lot moving forward.
Everyone except Adam.
Yeah, well, look.
Oh, he's been here once.
The sky's the limit for him. I just love that he was excited to go up against Ruler, right? Most people will look at that and be like, I'm facing against the best team in the world. But he wants to really face the best and learn. And it is the next step, the next journey. I don't know who their scrim partners were, probably playing teams. Now the next step is some hard-ass teams. So,
okay, listen, it's a best of one in the first stage.
yeah.
Adam gets one of the guard picks and absolutely smashes 369, and then maybe they win.
I haven't really seen him lose on the God picks. I'm going to be awesome.
Look, this guy
awesome.
has been Nostradamus. He already got me wearing
It's
this.
working.
He got Raz in the shirt.
It's
multiple days in a
working.
row,
Look,
so
I just
I'm
need
gonna trust him.
I need you to make me a few more shirts. If you missed any of the action today, the rebroadcast begins later at midnight PDT and 9 a.m. CEST on logesports.com. We return on Thursday, the 19th of October for our opening day of the Swiss stage, starting at 5 a.m. CEST. That's 10 p.m. PST. No matter where you are in the world, good morning, good evening, and good night. 7.
There, Levi didn't spot the Sonic Wave.
See the Sonic Wave, he's going to face check it. Oh no, those are two big red outlines and a Void Seeker across the map.
Trying to play off the fact that they just have power in the early game.
Oh no, Ultimate comes out. Scatter Weak does land, and there's the solo kill. Absolutely shredding the health bar here as Glory flies in as well. Trying to deny the flash here, Ignite, burning away. The first strike is there. He's slowly but surely clearing this wave. Here we go, CC Chain comes on in, he needs the sustain, and he gets it. Dashing on out, Slater flashes to find the kill, secure it for Gam, and slam down the Herald. When you hit level 6, that's a big advantage towards Glory. Pallet flashing forward, so he's hit level 6. As we're all grouped up, Sparta has the ultimate available. They're just going to go for the closest target, but that's a Wukong across everyone. And Pallet finds one. Slater flies in from the side. Damage to the shotgun on the backside. Wako looking to take out Noob. Good flash away from the Shurima ultimate, and now he's taking out Noob. The ultimate from the Maokai keeps everybody in place, and a double kill for Wako as the Scion is now dead. And there it is. Ace 5 for none. PSG. They were just as bored as we were. Seeing if they can go for something. There's the double Hex Flash. Nobody ever expects the double Hex Flash. You cannot slice and dice away. Woody once more. And Woody will get everything he wants.
If we win one, they will do a BDS spring, okay? We don't need to win 3 games. We need to win 1.
Flashes forward, jumps in onto Wako, and that's the play you need. Azhi will try and turn it around like he did at Baron, but not today. Flash over by Adam. He wants this kill, needs it to spin to win. Let's Beyblade. A little bit of damage out, trying to get those stacks up, brings down the ult, and Adam was done with passiveness in this laning phase. Side of this, a lot of damage. It's a lot of rocks to the back of the head. Wako finishes him off.
Aphelios no G, Aphelios no G. Alhamdulillah! Oh my god! Penta! Holy sh**! We got plus armor, I told you! We got plus armor!
BDS are doing it! BDS are killing them! And BDS will complete it! Quadra kill for Noob! Be damned your curses! Be damned your expectations! BDS are going to Swiss!
What's your play?